Hi. So today I wanted to talk a little bit more about time because I found it very difficult to let go of that belief. And from some of the comments that I got, well, one, but um, it seems that you guys were having the same trouble. So I kind of wrote about that today in my morning pages, which again I highly recommend that you do. Just write 3 pages of whatever comes to your mind every day. But so I kind of wrote it down for myself so I don't forget to tell you guys. First thing is you want to kind of review the steps of breaking down your belief about time. So we went through the steps in the last video, which was how to find, I forgot the name of it, but it was the time video. And so you want to go through the steps, and I have a couple more questions that you can add to your breaking down of your belief, which I think might help. One is, so the first one was how is this belief kind of affecting your life? How is it ridiculous? Where did it come from? So those were some of the questions that we asked before. But also, I want to say, also add, um, how is this belief not true? No matter how true it feels, how is it not true? And also, what do you gain from believing it? I mean, there is something that you gain. That's why you don't want to let go of that belief. Okay. If something seems really, really, really real, and even though it doesn't serve you, you can't let go of it, it's because probably it's serving you in another way. So be really, really honest with yourself and write down why, um, how is that belief serving you? And then um, also write down what belief you can replace it with. And the belief that you replace it with, you have to reinforce this belief over and over again because you have gotten into you are in the habit of believing that you don't have time, right? So now that you say, well, I have all the time in the world, it's your brain doesn't want to believe it, right? Because it believed that old belief and for years since you were probably born. So now you're trying to change it. It's not going to be strong if for one day. Maybe when you first write all your reasons, you're like, yes, I got this. I don't believe in time anymore. I have all the time in the world. But then when you go to do it the next day, it doesn't feel that way anymore. So it's because we need to reinforce the belief. So one of the ways to do that is through mantra, by saying it over and over again that it's the truth. So you constantly remind yourself, maybe you write it down and you put it in front of you somewhere that you can see it. Another way to do it is find proof for it. So find little elements of your life, look throughout your life and literally sort through all the times that you didn't have time and sort through and find components that show you that no, you have an abundance of time or time is not relevant. That to me is so important because time is just an excuse. Okay, it's once you realize that that is not relevant, then you start to see other reasons why you don't do things that you want to do. So reviewing your beliefs and breaking it down again, that is the first thing that you want to do. The next thing is you want to make a list of everything that you have to do and everything that you want to do. Okay, so I kind of came up with this based on what I have read in all these books. And so the next thing is write down why you haven't done those things. So once you kind of get rid of the element of the that you don't have time, you remove that excuse and you say I have all the time. Now you can kind of get through why you haven't done those things and you start to see other reasons. Okay, so you really get to the core of why you haven't done it. So let's say, I don't know, you want to read every day, right? And that's so the first thing is, oh, well, I don't have time. Do you know how many things I have to do? Then once you get rid of that, then you don't have that excuse, right? So now you have to look at other things why you don't, why you can't read, why you don't do this thing that you want to do. So maybe one of it is that you have other things that are more important to you. Reading is not important, okay? It's not a necessity. You haven't made it a necessity in your life. So because it is not a necessity, other more important things take its place. So you don't save room for that particular thing. So instead you watch TV because it's easier, it helps you relax, right? And reading just takes more of an effort. Reading is hard. I mean, you watch my other videos probably and know how reading, it wasn't always my good thing. So reading might be harder for you than to watch TV. So then you spend that time watching TV, or your episodes or whatever. So break down, be honest with yourself. Again, honesty is very important. Being honest with yourself. So write down why you don't read, really. Once you get rid of that whole excuse that I don't have time, but really, why not? Is it hard? Is it just you haven't found something that you wanted to do, read about it? But I mean, that's just an example, but this is for any task that you think that you want to do, or you say that you want to do, but you don't, so far you haven't had the time to do it. Okay? Then break down the beliefs that stop you from doing those things. So for example, let's say, I wanted to read, but then one of the beliefs was that I can't read. I can't read fast, so it's going to take me forever to read. And so that belief, those beliefs were stopping me from doing what I wanted to do. Maybe you want to make your art, but then your beliefs are that if I go to make art, then I have to not spend any time with my kids. I have to not spend, but that's a belief that you have. There's no truth to it, and it's just stopping you. Or that making art is something that doesn't come easy for you, or you can't be creative. Whatever. So write down the beliefs that you have about that task, and how some of those beliefs might not serve you in trying to accomplish that task. So you have to break those beliefs down. Now, another thing that you want to do is go through the 6 steps for breaking a habit. Okay, so I went through the perfectionist video. If you look at that, then there are 6 steps that I use to break down my habit of being a perfectionist and always looking for approval in my audience. So you can apply that to other things that you want to do. Okay, so let's say you want to take dance classes and you're like, I don't have time. Well, now you don't have the time excuse. So find out go through the 6 steps of how you can make taking a dance class so important, so pleasurable, that you make time for it. Okay, so you want to do that for all the tasks that you really, really, really want to do. So, and then make a schedule. Okay, so I was always really terrible at doing this, and I'm going to tell you, you don't need to make a schedule of like with time from 5 to 6 I'm going to read. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so what I mean by this is write down, so you have already written down what you want, all the things that you have to and what you must do. Okay, so now kind of categorize it with what are the things that you have to do every day. Okay, what are the things that you could do once a week or twice a week? What are the things that you can do once a month, and so on, once a year? So then you write those things down. Then the schedule can be for a month, not every day. So you're not going like, every day, this is my schedule. No, you're saying, okay, these are the things that I want to accomplish in a month. Okay, so you're giving yourself literally time. Okay, so instead of trying to fit everything in one day, you are trying to fit it into a month or a year. Okay, so you don't need to get everything done right now. So do the schedule for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. Don't try to fit everything in 1 week. So then you want to write a daily equation. Okay, I know this sounds all mathematical and like scary, but it's kind of like an equation. Okay, so first you decide how many hours of sleep do you need to feel refreshed. Okay, so for me, it's 8 hours. Okay, I need it. Although that belief can be changed as well. So you can start to believe that you only need 6 hours and do that. Work on that, and eventually you'll only need 6 hours. Okay, your body adapts to your beliefs. So, let's say you write down how many hours you need. And then you also want to write down what time you want to wake up. You have to wake up or you want to wake up, and what time you want to go to sleep. Next, oh, can't read my own writing. um, so write down how many how many hours your daily tasks take you. So from the moment you you wake up, you actually are up in your bed, to getting to the point where you are having breakfast. That seriously takes me an hour. So I'm sitting there in my bed. First, I check my phone a little to kind of wake me up more. And then I go, do my business. And then I can actually come and have my breakfast. So then you write down. So this step requires you to be extremely realistic. Don't write down the times that you wish it would take you. So I wish it would take me only 15 minutes to get out of bed and get to the breakfast part. But what you want to do is be realistic. Write down it takes you an hour and a half, whatever it really takes you. Okay, with all the wasting time and all the things that you do, you want to write down. So once you do that, then you have this realistic picture of how many hours everything takes you. So it takes me an hour to actually get to breakfast, and it takes me a couple of hours before I actually, once I actually write my morning pages, eat my breakfast, make my breakfast, and maybe even more, 2 hours to do this blog and actually upload them. So writing realistic things. So then now you know how many hours. These are things that you have to do every day, right? So then you know how many hours those things take. You know what time you woke up and how many hours those things took you, including work, obviously. And then you have all this other time. Maybe you see how many hours are left before the time that you want to go to sleep. So then you plug in everything else in there. Not everything, obviously, but maybe one night you plug in, your art. The next night, maybe doing meditation once a week. Next night, you will plug in working on your blog. Okay, so it's once you have prioritized what needs to be done every day and what can be done once or twice a week or whatever, then you can do the schedule like this. Okay, so it makes it a little bit easier. Then the last thing is focus on your schedule. Okay, focus on it. So this means, let's say your, friend calls and it's like, oh my God, there's this awesome concert and you have to come, but you have scheduled something for yourself already. So you can try to reprioritize if you think that the concert will give you more pleasure than, let's say, reading for those hours. So then you replace them and then you reschedule the reading somewhere else. Or just don't do it. Focus on the schedule that you have, because that's the schedule you made it based on what empowers you and fulfilling yourself, right? So you want to focus on that. So unless it's an emergency, do not stray from your schedule. And if you find yourself that you cannot focus on a task that you said you're going to do in your schedule that you really want to do, it's probably because you haven't built up the necessity for that task. It is not that important yet. It is really, really, you do not feel it within yourself. You have not associated enough pain to not doing that task and enough pleasure to doing that task. Okay, so re-examine that for that particular task that you can't focus on. I know this video is like way long, but I think that if you do these steps, it will help you. Let me know what you think. Thanks.